special holiday edition of Savor the Flavors. My name is Brittany Allyn, and each year as the holiday season approaches, I like to take a few moments to do something special to sort of put me in the Christmas frame of mind. Recently, I was in Shreveport, Louisiana, and it was there that I discovered this year's special holiday moments. Normally on the show, I take you to lunch with me, but today I'd love to invite you to join me for tea as I savor the flavors of the Glenwood Village Tea Room. I'm going to start with the tea. They create their own tea blends here, a lot of which are seasonal, and they have a special one for the holiday season called Snow Angel. Basically, it's a green tea, and it has juniper berries and dried pineapple in it. And it's something that you wouldn't add sugar or lemon or anything to. You just take it by itself. And here they've got it warming on this wonderful little warmer. Gorgeous teacup. It's kind of chilly outside today, so this is just perfect. Now, a little bit of tea etiquette here. You want to sort of pinch the handle on your teacup. Now, the pinky, that's something you can choose to do or not do. It's not really an etiquette thing. It's really more about balancing the teacup. If you're holding it properly, sort of having your pinky out kind of helps you balance it. Oh, that is a lovely tea. So perfect. It's like the aroma is as delicious as the flavor. It is really a beautiful holiday tea, and we're off to a good start for our full tea experience. Here, the full tea experience comes with something that's not exactly traditional, but it's very popular here. They start with their Victorian soup, and the recipe is actually that of the chef that was Queen Victoria's chef. It goes back that far. It is a cream soup. It's got a little chicken in it, some ham, asparagus, mushrooms, and cucumbers, which I think is very interesting in a hot soup. And they've got it topped with some chives. Wow, it's beautiful. Just like velvet looking. You've heard me say it before that I've never met a soup I didn't like, and today is no exception. This is so delicious. It is rich, but not too rich. And it proves that a great recipe is timeless, because this is just divine. Now, a full tea experience is sort of served in phases. We started with the tea, then we had the soup, which isn't traditional, of course, to a full tea, and now we have the tea finger sandwiches, and they are just beautiful. They're presented so lovely. I'm going to start with one that's very traditional, and this is a cucumber tea finger sandwich. How pretty is that? That is lovely. It's actually kind of like a palate cleanser. That's what cucumber does. It's so, so beautiful. I'm just going to try and taste them all. This one has goat cheese and watercress. Again, look how pretty the presentation is on that. It looks like some pecans on it. Oh my gosh, it is so good. I love that. I kind of want a big one of those. Wow. And now here we have pimento cheese on top of a little piece of bread. That has some lovely spice to it. What a great combination of flavors going on here. Now, look at this one. This one is shaped like a heart. Strawberries on it, as if it were Valentine's Day. I'm sort of celebrating all the holidays right here. It's got a light sort of cream cheese on the top, the fresh strawberries, just beautiful. This one is turkey with dill. Look at how dainty they are. I feel like a princess, or maybe a queen, or a duchess or something, but I feel special. I love dill. An afternoon tea is sort of, well, just meant to be a light experience, but here you can almost make a lunch of it because all these darling little sandwiches, and of course, the delicious tea. Next we have some scones and also some wonderful little desserts. For the holiday season, they have sugar plum scones. And here we have some lemon curd, which is delicious. We'll put some of that on there. And clotted cream, which is a cream with a very high fat content, like heavy whipping cream, and then some. There's like sugar on the outside of the scone, which is fabulous against the lemon curd. And who doesn't love cream? Oh my goodness. That is beautiful. Now, here we have some amaretto cream with fresh fruit. And you just use your fingers, a little strawberry. Wow, 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 wow. I love amaretto anyway. I'm gonna go for a blackberry. I love the presentation here. And then there has to be chocolate on the plate, right? This is a chocolate raspberry tart in a little phyllo dough shell. Look at the inside. There's like a raspberry filling in there. And of course, a raspberry on top. You know, I just love the idea of taking a pause in the afternoon, having some tea, some light fare, spending time with friends. It's a very good thing to remember at the holidays, and I always enjoy spending time with you. Thanks for joining me for tea.
I found the Glenwood Village Tea Room to be so charming and cozy, and the full tea experience was exquisite. The Victorian influence sort of had me humming traditional Christmas carols, and that gave me an idea. I thought it would be fun to have some of my musical friends over, do a little caroling, and also share with them the recipes inspired by my visit. Now, I'll start things off with something to warm them on a cold winter's night. I'll welcome my guests with a hot tea toddy, then serve a lovely cup of crab and asparagus bisque, along with grilled lamb chops topped with a walnut and herb pesto. Then for dessert, something light yet very festive, fresh fruit with a decadent Chambord cream. Today we're going to begin by marinating the lamb chops. Now we're going to marinate them in some rosemary. I have fresh rosemary here. When you're working with rosemary, if you just hold the stem, you can just sort of strip the leaves right off of it. And it works very nicely. Very easy to do. And we're just going to cut it very fine. You'll want a nice sharp knife for this, of course. And for this recipe, we need about 1.5 tablespoons of fresh rosemary. Okay, that looks fabulous. Now, I love rosemary in dishes, especially around the holidays because, well, it's sort of pine-like, and I love the flavor as well, especially with lamb chops. Now, we're going to take, I've got a zip-style storage bag here, and we're just going to put our chops in the bag. Now, for my party tonight, I'm going to do several racks, but I'm going to do them one rack at a time. And then we're going to take our rosemary. We'll just sort of sprinkle that across the top of them. Just like that. And also here I have 3 cloves of garlic that I've minced up very fine. And some olive oil. We'll stream some in there. We need about 1/4 cup per batch. And then we'll just zip it shut. Make sure and get all the air out. And then what I like to do is just sort of turn the bag and make sure that there's plenty olive oil and garlic and rosemary coating all of the chops. Now those are looking great. I'm going to put them in the refrigerator because I like to marinate them for about an hour and a half. I'm going to take a little break, and when we come back, we'll get started on our crab and asparagus bisque. Welcome back. While we were at commercial, I started 6 tablespoons of butter melting in my pot on the stove. We're going to use that as the base for our bisque. Now, I also got started on the vegetables. I've got 1 onion here that I've diced, and I also have 2 small leeks. When you're working with leeks, you want to make sure and clean them very thoroughly because leeks retain a lot of sand and we don't want sand in our bisque. Now also, I did say this was an asparagus bisque, and so here I have about 8 ounces of asparagus, and we're just going to cut the asparagus into 1-inch pieces. Okay, that is all our asparagus. We'll put that in our bowl. We can put all the vegetables in the same bowl because we're going to saute them all together. Now here I have 1 cucumber and I've already seeded it and peeled it. And we're just going to cut this up into small pieces so it cooks evenly. And we need about 3/4 cup for this recipe. Okay, I think that's about 3/4 cup. Got a little extra snack on that. Now also, I like to put some lemon in my bisque because it is a crab bisque and I love lemon with seafood. Now, I'm going to use the zest, but instead of using a zester, I'm just going to take my vegetable peeler and peel the zest off the lemon. And we only need the zest of half a lemon for this. And also, I have a fresh thyme. Okay, I think that's everything. It looks like our butter is nicely melted. We're just going to put our veggies in there. Now we're going to saute all of that for about 8 minutes or until the vegetables are tender. While that's going on, this is the perfect time for us to make the pesto to go with our lamb chops. Here I have 3/4 cup of fresh mint leaves. And I like mint with lamb, so I wanted to put it in my pesto. I also have a 1/2 cup of fresh parsley and 1 cup of fresh spinach. I find that it helps the pesto to retain its bright green color. Now also I've got 1 clove of garlic, a large clove, 2 tablespoons of walnuts. I love the walnuts and just that earthiness, it's just wonderful. And a 1/2 cup of freshly grated Parmesan cheese. And we'll put a little salt in there, not too much because there is a saltiness about Parmesan cheese that I like. Now also we'll do some lemon juice here. Just a little. I love lemon in my pesto. Again, it just kind of brightens it. And it makes you kind of wonder, what's going on in there? But in a good way. And we need about 3 teaspoons of the lemon juice. Alrighty. Now we're going to puree this. And as we do that, we'll stream in some olive oil. Oh yeah, that is perfect. The most beautiful consistency and color. Now I'm going to take this, put it in the refrigerator until it's time to serve it. Take a little break, and when we come back, we'll continue with our crab and asparagus bisque and get started on that lovely Chambord cream. Welcome back. Let's recap. So far we have marinated our lamb chops, we've made the pesto to go with them, and also started our crab and asparagus bisque. And now we're going to continue with that. All of our vegetables have cooked down nicely, and now it's time to remove that lemon zest and also the thyme sprigs. Now here I have 1 tablespoon of sherry. Sherry is a fortified wine, and I love adding it because it really imparts a wonderful depth of flavor. And we're just going to deglaze the pan with that. And once it's all evaporated, which it is, we're going to add 6 tablespoons of flour. The flour will act as a thickening agent for our bisque. And to that we'll add 1 teaspoon of salt and a scant 1/8 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Now, cayenne pepper in this is another one of those ingredients that'll make your taste buds go, something's going on here. I don't know what it is, but I like it. And also some freshly cracked black pepper. Okay, now we're just going to stir that and allow it to cook for just a minute or 2 because we want to get rid of that raw flour taste. once the flour is all cooked down, it's time to add our seafood stock. I've got 3 cups here, and I'm going to add it 1 cup at a time. Okay, now we're just going to allow that to come to a boil and then reduce the heat and let it simmer for about 4 to 5 minutes, and that will thicken our bisque very nicely. Now I want to talk a little bit about our fruit plate. I'm going to use a variety of fruit and berries, but I wanted to show you this in particular because some of you might not be familiar with star fruit. Star fruit is a tropical fruit and you can eat the whole thing. There's no need to peel it at all, and I like to just slice it. And when you see the slices, you can see why it's called star fruit. Isn't that pretty? I love it at Christmas time on a fruit plate because it is so very festive. Now, that Chambord cream we were talking about. I've got 3 ounces of cream cheese here that's been softened. And to that I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of raspberry jelly. We want jelly, not jam, because we don't want any seeds in here. And also 2 teaspoons of honey, and this will help to sweeten our cream as well. And here I have 2 tablespoons of Chambord. Chambord is a raspberry flavored liqueur, and I love adding it to recipes. Now in here I have 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. So we're going to whip our cream and also combine the cream cheese mixture. That looks so delicious. It's hard not to get into it right now, but I'm going to resist. Now I have some lamb chops that I marinated earlier, and I've had them sitting out because you want to bring them to room temperature before you put them on the grill. That's how you get the best sear. I've also put some freshly cracked black pepper on them. Now when I grill them, I'm going to grill them for about 2, maybe 3 minutes aside, depending on the thickness and also your desired doneness. Our lamb chops are fresh off the grill and they look and smell fantastic. I'm just going to tent them with this foil because we want them to rest for a few minutes. Now earlier while we were at commercial, I also put our bisque mixture into the food processor. And we're just going to process it until it's very smooth. That should do it. I love the color on this. It's sort of festive, almost Christmassy with that pale green color. Now we're going to take this and we're going to put it in our pot. Return it to the pot. And then to that we're going to add 1 cup of half and half. Now that is starting to look absolutely wonderful. I'm going to clean up here, take a little break, we'll come back and taste this. You always want to taste everything before your guests arrive. And I'm also going to show you how to make that hot tea toddy. Welcome back. I wish you could smell the aromas going on here. It is almost euphoric. Now the one thing I haven't gotten to yet is the very first thing that I'm going to serve my guests, and that is our hot tea toddy. To make it, we're going to start with a ½ ounce of Grand Marnier. Grand Marnier is an orange flavored liqueur or brandy. And also we're going to add 1½ ounces of cranberry juice. Now to that, of course, we need tea. At the Glenwood Village Tea Room, they blend their own teas, and I brought some home with me. This is a green tea base, and it's got dried fruit and also juniper berries and cinnamon in it. So any similar tea blend will work well for this toddy. And of course, I made some tea. I love the smell of that. No, you're not hearing things. Isn't that wonderful? This is a teapot and music box all in one. My father-in-law gave it to me, and I just love that. He's a collector of everything, and this is a wonderful antique. Now, to my hot toddy, I like to finish it with a little slice of tangerine. And when the heat hits that tangerine, it helps to flavor this so wonderfully. Now, when my guests are here tonight, I'm going to serve them the bisque. I'll ladle it into the cup. And I know you're wondering, she said crab and asparagus bisque. Where's the crab? Well, here it is. I just want to allow my guests to take however much crab they want and then just place it in the center of their bisque, like that. Why not go all the way, right? I think it's so pretty, and it really makes the crab the star of the show. Now, I also like to finish it with some fresh chives. Lots of herbs in this meal today. Look at that. Ooh, one overboard. A few of those. There we go. We'll keep that pretty. Now we have our lamb chops. We'll grab a couple of those and maybe put them on the plate with the bisque. This is a holiday meal. Now, also we want some of that wonderful pesto on our lamb chop. Look at that. Oh yeah. Now, let's taste our hot tea toddy. That will warm your bones. And that little bit of Grand Marnier in there, maybe those that are reluctant to sing, it's just like a half ounce of encouragement for them. Now, let's taste. Look at this lovely crab and asparagus bisque. Wow. Get some of that crab meat. That is a holiday dish, if there ever was one. The crab, of course, is delicious. The bisque, so nice and smooth, that subtle asparagus taste. And remember the cayenne, just a touch, doing exactly what I wanted it to. I love that. And our lamb chops with that pesto on top. Aren't they darling? They're perfectly cooked. So tender and succulent, and that pesto, so bright, just perfect, wonderfully, wonderfully seasoned. And now we're going to finish with something light, because these are sort of rich dishes. I wanted my dessert to be light, so we're going to go with some fresh fruit. That is so good. You are going to love all of these flavors. Now, I'd love to invite you to visit my website, savortheflavors.tv. While you're there, you can print out the recipes from today's show or sign up for my free newsletter. I want to take a special moment, though, to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from everybody here at Savor the Flavors. Now, I'm going to clean up here. My guests will be here any minute, but don't you go away. I want you to hang around for the party. Merry Christmas.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly. Fa la 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 la.